Hello friends, thank you for tuning in to this week's video. So just in case you have never been to an Empties video before, that is where I basically talk about my trash or my empty things, empty products, things I've used up. It kind of gives you a perspective of the things that I've used to their entirety and gives you an idea of what I like, what I don't like, what I would repurchase, what I wouldn't repurchase, and it kind of is a fun way of getting to know what people actually use versus what sits around in their stash for a long time. So if you're interested in learning about that kind of product or that kind of product, then just keep on watching. So in front of me I have a bunch of little products, and they're all my empties. Mostly mascaras. I haven't done very many empties before. This is actually my second one. If you want to watch my first empties, I uploaded them back to back because I had a kind of like hair care, toiletries, body care kind of category. And then I also have this makeup category of empties that I wanted to talk about. Let's talk about mascaras. So I'm going to talk about the Loral Lash Paradise tubes first. I have two of them. I feel like that I've had more than this. I think I've had 3 or 4 in my lifetime, but I really enjoy these. I think that they're great, and I can tell that one of them is a lot older than the other one. I think that this mascara is a very good mascara. I really enjoy putting this mascara on. There's something about the application process that is just so satisfying. I don't know if it has to do with the brush or what, but it's a very fun mascara to apply. So this is a very, very popular mascara. It's a mascara that a lot of people think is either really good or some people think it's not. I fall into the category of people that think it's awesome. I think that it definitely lifts the lashes and gives a nice curl. I also think that it volumizes, as it says, the voluminous Lash Paradise, and I think that it's a good mascara, and clearly I've repurchased it. I know I've repurchased it more than just twice, or more than just once, I guess. Repurchase, first purchase, whatever. I haven't been keeping my empties. I haven't been keeping my makeup products until a couple years ago, I guess, to be honest. But I have been keeping a lot of products back in order to talk about them for an empties video, but I don't go through products as fast as your average consumer probably, because I just feel like that I don't need to go through mascaras quite as fast as every 6 months or every 3 months. I usually just go until I feel like that they don't work as well. So I've had a mascara from back in April, and it's going on 4 months, and then but I definitely love my mascaras, and I do replace them. So then let's talk about Lash Princess. This is not my first tube, but it's my first one that I've kept. Now, I loved this mascara. Funny enough, I feel like that I used to love this mascara. I even got my mom turned on to it. She loves it. But for whatever reason, I think when I got my glasses, they smudge and they flake. This mascara smudges and flakes whenever I wear it with my glasses. So I ended up having to, I didn't even feel like that I used it all to its full potential, but I used it enough after I got my glasses that I felt like I couldn't keep using it because it kept flaking and it kept like smudging, and this was like a great mascara, but for people who aren't glasses wearers, apparently. So that's a really big bummer. Now I've got 3 minis here that I want to talk about. All 3 of these are Lancome mascaras. They're all minis though. This one is a very funny little brush. It's flat, and then it gets wide, so it's kind of funny to me. But this was a good mascara. I think this was the one that smelled. Yeah, it has like a really strong, pungent smell. It's very odd. This one is the Hypnose Star mascara, and I just felt like that every time I used it, I could smell it, which, who smells a mascara? Maybe this went off, I don't know, but it did well. It did the job. It coated my lashes, made them black, whatever. But the smell was enough that I remembered it, and I would not repurchase that. Then I've got the Lancome, now I don't know, Define Mascaras, I don't know how to pronounce that, but it's this one. So this is the way that the brush looks. It is not as funny shaped as the other one. It's more like a standard brush. It's much like the Lash Princess, actually, I would say. So these two are kind of similar. This one is a fuller wand, as you can tell. Does not have that weird smell. It was a good mascara. I kept it in my purse because it was a mini and I could just like pop on some mascara. I thought that it did the job. I didn't think that it was any kind of crazy lengthening, any kind of crazy volumizing. It was rather middle of the ground. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. Then I've got the Monsieur Big, also from Lancome. This has a nice large wand, not as hourglass shaped as the others, like the Lash Paradise, but so I would say that it is a similar kind of a brush. It's less full. The Lash Paradise is a very full, dense brush, and the other one is not. So it's a good mascara. Also, did not find it to be too smelly. Now I felt like that this was a better mascara than these two, actually, both of them, but I felt like that it's not waterproof. So I remember when I would take off my mascara at the end of the day, I felt like that it would like smear when I took it off. It's not that it was more difficult to take off, it was just that the removing process was different. And I know that's kind of I don't know how important that is to people when they're buying a mascara, but for me, I don't know that I would repurchase it. If it's a high-end expensive mascara that just is okay, I'm probably not going to repurchase it. So this was a little mini that I got for my birthday or something like that from Ulta, and I liked it. Would not rave about it. I've got two more. This is the CoverGirl Exhibitionist. Hello, that was a mouthful. CoverGirl Exhibitionist. I thought that this was a great mascara. In terms of the wand, I felt like that these two wands were actually pretty comparable. The Lash Princess one and the Exhibitionist one. I think the Exhibitionist one is slightly longer. Not that it really makes that big of a difference, but I do think that with this one, it's been said that you have to let it dry out a little more and it works really well. This one I thought worked really well right out of the bat, and I felt like that it lasted longer. So I would repurchase either one of these. I would happily repurchase either one of these. Now, I don't think I've used either one of these with my glasses. So I actually don't know how I feel about them now with glasses, because every time I wear my glasses, my eyelashes touch the glass. Turns out just the way that my face is shaped, the way that the glasses are, because of that, I have to find mascaras that don't smudge when they're rubbing against glass all day long. So I don't really know how it stands up against that, but I would again repurchase either one of those. And then lastly, I've got this mascara. This is the Heroine Make Long and Curl Mascara Advanced Film. Very long name. This was a Korean brand. This one smells. And I felt like that it didn't do that great of a job. It didn't lengthen, it didn't volumize, and I felt like that it didn't remove very well either. I think that this was also a rather smeary mascara, whereas other ones you remove it and no traces of black. You don't have to like work at it to get your mascara off. This I felt like you did. Wouldn't repurchase it. I thought that it was going to be a great mascara, but it wasn't. So moving on. So now I go through a lot of pencils here. So this here, I've got the Megalast Wet n Wild pencil. This is so worn off that you can't even tell, but I've used it all the way up. I thought it was a good mascara, or a good eyeliner. Then I have the Breakup Proof Wet n Wild retractable liner. Also thought it was good, used it up. This is the Blackest Black, but I repurchased it in brown, and I think that it's also good. I think that the formula is not as creamy as I would like it to be, but it doesn't budge. So in terms of like when I kind of feel like you do kind of have to warm it up on your hand, or warm it up, rub it back and forth a bit before it really starts to show. but it's a stiffer formula, but I think that it's a very solid formula. It's very inexpensive, and it will last me long enough that I don't feel like I'm going through it too fast. I use eyeliner almost every time when I do my makeup, so I go through eyeliner a lot, especially retractable ones. So I have repurchased it in brown. And then I've got the Instant Lift Eyebrow. This is from e.l.f. I really enjoyed this. I have repurchased it. This is not my first one. This is at least my second one. And then I've also bought the Ultra Precise Brow Pencil from e.l.f. and I like them both. I think that this is not empty, but this one I would repurchase it. But I think I like the size of the Ultra Precise one a little bit more. This one definitely filled in my brows and gave me more defined eyebrows, but I do think I prefer the Ultra Precise just a little bit more, even though I've already repurchased this twice. And then I've got the Physicians Formula Eye Booster. Now, this was a great brush tip liquid eyeliner. It's in Ultra Black, and I felt like that it was okay. It kind of dried out faster than I hoped. Then I have since repurchased it, but I repurchased it in the waterproof one where it's got like the little water droplets on it, and I think that this is a better quality. I think that it lasts longer, but I don't think that it's totally waterproof. Like sometimes when my eyes get wet and I guess you have to really be trying, but sometimes when my eyes water and I try to wipe it away, the eyeliner goes with it. So you just have to kind of be careful. I do think that this one lasts longer and is better than the not waterproof one though. And I would repurchase the waterproof one once it goes. Now I've got a couple primers here I'll talk about. I've got the Milk Hydra Grip Primer. I've recently gotten the e.l.f. primer here. This is supposed to be a dupe. Let me just squirt a little bit on my hand, why not? So it comes out green, but it rubs away clear. And I think that when I used them, I do think that it's almost like this one is a little bit stickier. This one is a little thinner in its consistency, but it is just as tacky. I feel like once it dries down, I do think that it has that tack grip. But I do think that they're not exactly the same, but they're very, very close. In terms of pricing, I think this was $15 and this was $4 or $6. Even if it was $6, I think it was $6. So this one is 3 times as much as this one. This has 10 ml in it. This has 30 ml in it. You do the math. Clearly this is the better deal, and I would honestly go for the e.l.f. one over this one just because I don't want to spend that kind of money. I'm cheap like that. Okay, now I've got the Mega Cushion Foundation. This is Wet n Wild. This was an oldie but a goodie. Thoroughly enjoyed this. It had a very strong SPF scent, but I thought that it was the cutest little compact, and I thought that the product was very good. I really think that Wet n Wild does really good foundations. This is my second foundation from Wet n Wild, and I've used them both up to their entirety, and I feel like that I would definitely repurchase them, no questions asked, if I were presented with it. And pretty much if I was going on a trip and I lost my makeup and I thought I need something quick and cheap, I would go for a Wet n Wild. No questions asked. Hands down, would go for Wet n Wild. Alright, now I've got the Tatcha Skin Canvas, that primer that was wild for a while. Used it all up. This was an odd product. I did see where they kind of could market it as skincare because the texture of it was very different. It was thicker than moisturizer. It kind of felt like you could compare it to the Tarte Timeless Primer. Like it kind of has like a different texture. I don't know. I wish you could feel this on my hand. I wouldn't repurchase it. I bought this in some kind of a little Sephora bag where it came with several products. I wouldn't purchase this. I think that it's overhyped. I thought that it did fill in the pores. It was nice, but it wasn't so nice that I wanted an entire tub of it. And I have no desire to go out and get the e.l.f. putty primers either, to be honest. I think that they are a little overhyped. I enjoy the Tarte primer a whole lot, and I would just stick with it. I would repurchase it probably. I I have ended up liking this a whole lot more than I thought I would. So that's telling you something. I would get the Tarte one over the Silk Canvas. Now I have this Cereve sunscreen, would repurchase. This does apply white, but I thought that it was just a really solid product. I felt like that it didn't leave a white cast, and I felt like that it kind of didn't peel up. This was a mineral sunscreen. It has titanium dioxide and zinc oxide in it, so it is mineral. It is a physical sunscreen, so I felt like that this did its job. It did a really good job. I would repurchase it, but I ended up purchasing the Paula's Choice SPF, and they're not comparable. They're not the same thing, but I think that this is a really good SPF if you're on the lookout for a physical SPF. Now this one only has zinc oxide, but it has a much higher percentage of zinc oxide than this one had in it. This one only has 3.5%, this one has 13%, so it is 10% more than this one. I've heard mixed reviews about the Cereve sunscreen. The facial one, apparently the tinted facial one, is not very good. I don't know, I'd like to try it, but with all the reviews being negative, I'm like, maybe not. I don't know. I would repurchase this. I would also repurchase the Paula's Choice one whenever it goes out. Next I have a sun balm, Sunshades balm. Ooh. Now this was amazing. It smells so good. This is from Melaleuca, mountain mint scent or flavor, whatever, and amazing. Literally made my lips tingle. This was one of my favorite lip balms. You don't see a lip balm in an Empties too often, I don't feel like. Like, in all the Empties I've watched, I really don't see lip balms. But your girl used up a lip balm because it's good. And I'm kind of sad. I would like to find a lip balm that is similar to this that I can just buy, because this is from an MLM, and I don't really do MLMs. It's fine if you do, but I don't. So, or I did, but I don't now. Anyway, if you know of a minty tingly lip balm, let me know. I'm open for suggestions. Lastly, I've got some perfumes. I have the Michael Kors Wanderlust. Woo! I just dropped it. Michael Kors Wanderlust, and then I have the Aeropostale. I don't know how to say that at all, but this one, the little blue one, which probably is all of them. Anyway, I thought these were just okay. I wouldn't repurchase either one. Neither of them totally stood out. But now this, I have repurchased. This is the Better Paradise scent. Love this scent. Oh my gosh. This is what got me into perfumes. I didn't really do perfumes a whole lot until this. Then I started applying it or spraying it almost every time I left the house. Used it up, bought another. My boyfriend loves it. I have the butter bronzer right here, but I don't feel like they're the same. Could be because this is an old pan of butter bronzer, and maybe the scent isn't the same that it used to be. But I do feel like that it's pretty similar. I don't feel like it's changed. It's not off. It may be less pungent than it used to be, but these are not the same scents. Like, they don't compare, but I do think that this is a really, really crazy good scent. It's warm, it's sweet, but it's not florally. It's more like woodsy, tree-y, a sweet tree. I don't know if that makes any sense at all. I don't know what the notes are. Apparently butter paradise are the notes, and it's a wonderful scent, and I may purchase a backup because these bottles are so tiny and I love it so much, even though I have lots of other scents. Yeah, this is a very special scent to me, and I love it dearly. So guys, that wraps up this Empties video. I am excited that you joined me for this, my second Empties video, my first makeup Empties video. I'll try to do better at keeping track of what I empty, and yeah, I hope that you got something from this. Let me know in the comments below if you've tried any of these things, if you agree with what I had to say, or if you didn't agree, that's fine too. Let me know. I'm curious to see what other people think. I hope that you will come back. I am Lizzie Likes Lipstick on Instagram, and if you want to hit the bell, subscribe, do all the little things, then you'll be notified of my future videos, and I would love it because I've got a lot of exciting new content to come. So I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye!